Welcome back to our Business Tuesdays, and today we have another guest. Remember, it's another day different from another Tuesday, so I'm happy to be here with another guest. And guess what? If you don't know, you don't know. I'm going to tell you who is she. She's a great person, and wait and see. Welcome to the show, Miss Charmaine Christine Manhanga.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And I would love to know, and the audience out there, that who is Miss Christine Charmaine Manhanga?
Well, to start with, I'd say I'm a mother of 5 children.
Okay.
Married to my husband of 31 years.
Uh-huh.
Bishop Trevor Manhanga is my husband.
All right.
And I'm a businesswoman. And I'm also running the ladies' ministry currently at our church, Victory Tabernacle Church.
All right. Okay, nice to know. And I've noticed you have multiple personalities, but we'll talk about it later. And all right. So to start with, did you know, or were you ever told since you were born that you are going to be this great, or you're going to lead a lot of people, or you're going to be a business person, or it just happened automatically? What happened?
To be honest with you, I'm a very quiet person, still am.
All right.
And so coming with business started off with probably a vision that I was given.
All right.
When I walked into this very office.
Interesting.
Almost 20 years ago.
All right.
My sister was she was working here. Mm-hmm. It was an insurance company.
All right.
And so I came to visit her. And I'd often come in to see her. But this day was different.
Okay.
When I walked through the doors, I asked for my sister. They said she was in with the boss. They were having a meeting.
All right.
So I said, okay, I'll wait. Mm-hmm. And as I was waiting, I felt the Lord saying to me, if I gave you this place,
all right,
what would you do with it?
All right.
So I began to think about it as I was walking around. The people must have thought I was mad because I was walking around looking with big eyes. I began to see all the different possibilities.
All right.
I said, I'll do this, I'll do that. And I had a whole list of different things that I would do in business. Just from that conversation that I had heard from the Lord. And so must have been just short 2 weeks when my sister called me to say the company was closing. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I asked her was, what are you doing with the offices?
All right.
But I think the boldness came from the vision that God had given, the voice that spoke to me and the vision of the business.
All right. So sorry to catch you a bit. So you are literally saying the vision just came, or you had a voice when you were in the building,
yes,
talking to you about business, and this was God himself.
Yes, I 100% believe, because I would often take time to listen to God's voice.
All right.
People always ask, what does it sound like? It's just a normal voice talking to you, but when that voice speaks to you, you understand that is not yourself.
All right.
This is coming from somewhere else.
All right.
And so she then said, no, they hadn't decided with the building. And so I said, tell them we'll take it.
Wonderful.
That was the beginning.
Wonderful.
With no money in my pocket, I realized I can only do this business because God is the one who has shown me.
No money in your pocket. That was $0 in your pocket. Just you had a voice within from God, and you had this boldness, this tenacity to say, no, yes, I can take over the building.
Yes.
I can take over the whole. And what was the price of the building back then?
I can't even remember, but I don't think it was cheap, because the company which was in here had been a very well established insurance company.
Yeah.
But by faith, I said to my sister, tell them we will take it. Because also I realized my sister was going to be out of a job.
All right.
And so my sister, she decided that she would come in and run, maybe it was an agency for insurance.
All right.
So she took one of the offices. But I think she only came in 6 months later after I had already been in here. So I took over some of the furniture that was in there. They left some. But basically it was just an empty front.
Okay.
And I remember by faith I hired somebody who was the caretaker.
All right.
So we'd come in, there was nothing much to do, clean the office. We put a chair right here and looked out the window.
Yeah, this is you were doing that.
That was the caretaker.
All right.
There was nothing to do. That's how we started the business. From there, I started approaching different businesses in Rotary banks and other different companies.
Yeah.
And I said to them, I can do fresh flowers for you with an artistic flair.
All right.
For your fronts, for your receptions. And so that's how I started.
And out of that voice, you were now approaching business, like banks, and already you had the boldness.
What I can do.
And you knew this in this place, there's nothing, there's just a chair.
Nothing like that.
And the caretaker was looking at the window.
Was looking at the window.
And you were approaching other businesses, like, I can do this for you. That was great faith, yeah?
Yeah, it was great faith. When I started my business, I wanted to have a unique one-stop shop.
Okay, like everything under one roof. No?
Everything under one roof. When I started, I think there were 3 other people in this kind of industry, the hospitality industry. And so I wanted to further it. One was just doing hiring of tent and chairs and tables, and the other was doing bridal wear, and the other lady was also doing some tables and chairs.
All right.
So I wanted to go further into the decor side.
All right.
I wanted to do flowers from your fresh to your artificials. I wanted to do, I also had, at the time I was running plants. I would deliver plants into the banks.
All right.
And take care of those plants.
All right.
And so I just began to do those kind of things. And one of the companies in Rotary, the boss asked me to do his wedding. So by using his money, that's how I started by buying things for my business.
Wonderful. This is so interesting. So God brought the person with the money again.
Yes.
So you were running on faith as a currency.
As a currency.
Okay, viewers, let's talk after the commercial break as we are going to hear more and deep about how Mrs. Manhanga started. Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Tabonga from Creative Concepts, and here we offer all occasion functions including weddings, corporate, birthdays, as well as funerals.
Hi, my name is Carissa Manhanga from Creative Concepts, and along with events, we also provide hiring services such as tents, tables and chairs. We also provide flowers for all occasions such as birthdays, weddings, graduations. Don't forget to follow us on social media in the link below.
Welcome back to the show as we are going to dig a deep about how Miss Manhanga started her business and how she was leading the women in the Christian fellowship. Let's hear more, and also how she is running about being a mother. So tell us more about you being a mother, being a business person, and also being a leader at church. And how do you go about it? How do you manage these things?
That's a very interesting question, because at the time I had 4 children, and one was still very young. And I was also running a ministry at our church for women at the time who were HIV positive or affected.
All right. Oh, this is deep, yeah.
We were running this ministry where we were helping children. And so what we would do is, say for example, your brother died of AIDS. We would help you to look after your children, your brother's children. So that there wouldn't be a burden on you.
That's so kind. Yeah.
So we didn't want you to put them into an orphanage, because we still wanted the family connection. So I was running that ministry at the same time. where I was also doing some training. I would be often traveling to South Africa for some training. So yes, balancing church, the ministry,
Yeah.
plus the business could be very difficult at that time.
And being a mother,
And being a mother, being at home, making sure everything was ready. Children were going to school also. There were lift runs.
Okay.
It was actually an interesting but very difficult time to juggle all these balls.
at once. And also at the same time, you are a wife to someone.
I'm a wife to someone.
At the same time, you're you.
I'm you.
Yeah.
And imagine my husband wasn't just a pastor. He was the bishop of the Pentecostal Assemblies also.
What?
So we also had, we would also have to be doing a lot of traveling
All right.
throughout the country.
All right. Wow.
So some
Wow.
of the times were very difficult, like Easter, we would be traveling the whole country, maybe going to 20 different churches. And still wondering how to balance the children at home. Oftentimes I would have to rely on my family
Wonderful.
just to help me make sure that the children would have somewhere to stay
All right.
when I traveled. Other times they would be taken with me all over the country.
Wow.
So yes, it was a difficult time, but because God had given me the vision, He also provided me the strength at that time.
Yeah, this is not easy because, running as a mother, running as you, somebody's wife, leading church, being a business lady, and also having people telling you their problems, and you also have your own problems. So many people, they don't understand about leadership, that you also have your own. Even at work, after employing 1 or 2, 3 few people, they don't understand that you also have some problems to solve.
Exactly.
They take it lightly. So I need to know more about how did you manage to push the business and training other ladies into business?
Well, I often like to teach by example.
All right.
So even with the ladies that I was ministering to, I wanted them to be to be self-sufficient, so that the ministry wouldn't run for the rest of his life, giving school fees, giving groceries,
All right.
helping with hospital.
Yeah.
So what we did was I did a training program for as many ladies as possible.
All right.
Some were doing catering training. They from the cooking side. Others were doing cleaning. Others were doing sent them to General Hospital for nurse aides, and others we sent them for sewing projects.
Wonderful.
We also did
Wonderful.
some we just, because we realized most of our children couldn't get into school
Okay.
because they hadn't gone to early learning.
Oh, this they call it primary level.
Yes. So what we did was we created a creche,
All right.
and some
This is so
of the
powerful.
ladies were going for training.
Yeah.
So what we had was a holistic view of everything in terms of the ladies. When we also had a lady I sent for counseling sessions.
All right.
An older lady who had was able to be with these ladies, because sometimes what we were going through was a lot of our ladies were dying.
All right. Some of the ladies were dying along the way. Okay. Okay.
Because those days there were no ARVs.
Oh. Okay.
So
Okay.
we would have, what we did was the cleaning team would go into the homes and help the mother who was sick, cleaning a home. And then we would have the ladies who had gone for nursing.
All right.
They would care for the ladies when they were now home-based care.
All right.
And then we had, from there now we'd have, if we have a funeral,
All right.
we have the team who's doing the catering.
And all these people, you
And
could manage
everybody
them.
was knitting together, because we were doing a holistic approach of how to minister to each other.
All right. So this is all of a sudden God spoke to you, and automatically you are now training other ladies to be independent and help their families to become breadwinners.
Yes.
It is not easy just coming out of a vision, and you start a business and you are pushing on your own. Also, you are helping other ladies to start projects, to stand on their own. This is something very deep. Can you tell us more about
Because you must understand, the ladies weren't educated. So businesses do not employ people who do not have the O levels. So what I want to do is create jobs for these ladies.
All right.
And so the type of training I would send them for would then open them up into these kind of businesses. So initially, I had to be the one who would have to get the business license and all that.
For them all?
For them, yes.
Yeah,
so
okay.
that, because, it's not easy to just go without money to somewhere and start a business.
Yeah, true.
So that's what we would do. But I think over the years, I was able to win them off the project so that they would be independent. A lot of our children have grown up to be very successful right now, which is quite exciting.
Yeah.
When I meet them and they tell me, Ms. Manhanga, I used to come, I was under your program. It was called Sonaka Ministries.
Yeah, wow.
So it's always exciting when I see somebody doing very well and coming from that program.
All right, so as a leader, what you wanted is to see somebody being successful. So we have few people around the world who can actually do that, who feels for other people, who understands that they have to be somebody growing out of them.
Yes.
It's not an easy thing. So I really appreciate what you're doing, because this was deep. I'm telling you, this was so deep. Big job, huge one. Welcome back to the third segment, where we are going to hear about the disadvantages of women in business from Mrs. Manhanga. So, Mrs. Manhanga, can you tell us more about the disadvantages you have been facing in businesses as you were doing your business around?
One of the greatest disadvantages is that the world still recognizes men.
Okay, wow, that's a blow.
It's the truth.
That's a blow.
You walk into an institute and maybe you need some funding for capital.
Oh, wow.
They still will look at you as a woman, and they prefer to give the capital to a man.
All right.
That's what I've found.
They prefer to what? Can you repeat?
Give the capital
To the man, not to the woman.
Not to a woman. I think they feel women. I think it's just this idea that women can't do things. Maybe they won't pay you back, but they have more confidence in a man. That's what I feel.
All right.
And also running a business when the place is not your own becomes very difficult in terms of your rentals can go up at any moment. You haven't got any control. The country, the situation in the country, sometimes you don't even have any control over your finances.
All right.
Like in some of the times we lost our money. Woke up in the morning, put your money in a bank.
Okay.
Remember one bank where I put my money at Century Bank.
All right.
And my husband had also put his money. Woke up one morning and the money was gone.
That was his savings.
It was the savings. I think at that time, I think he lost about 21,000 US dollars.
What?
And myself, I think I had 3,000 in that same bank.
Oh, that was gone.
That was gone.
Wow.
So you can't control that. You have to just start again. So many times you find that you are starting again.
Every time you just like...
Because they keep moving the circles.
All right. Everything will be changing any minute.
Any minute.
Yeah.
So yes, you just have to have that stick to it.
All right.
Stick to what you are doing. Start again. and carry on.
All right.
So some of the disadvantage of a small town like Butare is there's always misconceptions.
All right.
Like if a person sees me, they don't see Charmaine, Christine, they see Bishop Manhanga's wife.
Wonderful.
So it's easier to be, how are you? Nice to meet you. Or who are you? Bishop Manhanga's wife. And that's the umbrella that you.
Okay, they will accept you that way.
That
If you just say I'm Charmaine Christine, they'll be like,
they won't. As soon as, like, if I want to get somewhere, I know I have to put in Bishop Manhanga's wife.
and that was the stamp.
That can help open some doors.
Okay,
So sometimes yes, you have to use all the doors that you can open. My husband always says also borrow all the brains that you can borrow.
All right.
So when I'm encouraging women, I always say this: we can't do everything,
All right.
but sometimes you need to borrow brains. Like for example, you can go to people to help you open your company
Yeah, sure.
because you don't have to learn to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, sure.
The wheel is already there.
Yeah.
You just have to know how to get onto the wheel
Uh-huh.
and use the wheel that is there. So I also encourage women to do a lot of training.
Yeah.
For example, it's not just I woke up and decided because Mrs. Manhanga looks like she's making money, I can also do the same thing. When you open a business, it needs to be your passion, something that is unique to you. If you copy someone else, you will find that won't last.
Yeah, it would be a problem.
It
Yeah.
will be a problem in the end. So a lot of people might say, "Oh, Miss Manhanga is here," so they go to maybe to their husband. I also want to do this, and husband gives them the money, but it's not their passion.
Okay.
So it runs out in the end quite quickly.
It's because they've just seen you doing it and they just thought they
They
can
can also
do the same.
and so they don't know my journey.
Yeah, true.
Yes, my
true.
husband has helped me along the way, but I didn't start off using my husband's money,
Yeah, true.
as I've explained. So at the very end of the day, if it is not your passion,
Yeah.
don't copy somebody else. That's my advice. And also the other thing, like I said, training.
Okay.
I mean, I had to go to Zimbabwe Institute of Management,
All right.
and I had to do a course, and it was a educational diploma that I got in business leadership.
All right. So you actually learned about
I
business
learned about this.
from Zimbabwe, but I want them to hear. Maybe they can just go.
Zimbabwe Institute of Management.
All right. All right.
And I remember when we started, we were about 30-something in the class. And for a lot of people, they tend to get somebody else to write their assignments.
All right.
I wrote all my own assignments. And I think my lowest mark was probably in the 80s.
All right.
And also, when I did the exam, I remember I came second in the class out of the 30-something people.
You're the second one.
I was the second one.
All right.
So, yes, it is important for you also to be educated.
All right.
If you want to go and do cake making and there's training, pay the money and get trained so that you can.
Hey, me and my fellow friends, we don't want to pay money for learning. Hey.
So you can
It's a
only
problem,
improve
yeah?
yourself.
Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, improving yourself is the key.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
You need to improve yourself.
Yeah.
So even in with ministry, I've had to do several courses, training in different things, from counseling to leadership. I had to go to the Bible doctrine, so that when I'm standing in front of somebody, I'm not just standing talking, but I've come with some training.
So this is you learning about business, and you're in business. This is you learning about ministry, and you're in ministry. Wow, this is so deep. But so many people, they don't even consider education that.
Even when we ran the ministry, all the ladies that were working with me in the ministry, we'd often go for training.
Well, you encourage them all to go for training.
Because we're doing like almost running like a little NGO. So all the different things that you need to know, that's what we have to do.
All right, that was so deep. And all right, lastly, what would you love to say to a girl child out there, or even to a boy child, or even to a fellow woman who wants to start something, or somebody who is inspired by what you've said? What would you say? What advice would you give to them?
Well, at the end of the day, I spoke to the ladies just recently from John 9, looking at verse 4,
All right,
where the Bible says, the night cometh when no man can work.
all right,
So I'd encourage people, if you need to start now, because the night is coming.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you blink. Just the other day, I was leaving school, and now my children are leaving home. It's almost as if I blinked my eyes and the time has moved.
Everything's just magic.
Yes, young people don't understand that time moves.
Yeah, true.
They
Yeah,
think
true.
that they've got the whole world.
And then we have the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, it only takes a second and everything has changed. So you don't want to end up going to heaven and realizing you missed so much opportunities.
Yeah. That would be
That's
so
what I'm saying.
sad.
The nighttime is coming.
Yeah,
And so even Jesus understood that his nighttime was coming because he was going to the cross.
yeah,
A nighttime for somebody, people might say, I'm young, so the nighttime is when I die. No.
yeah. Okay.
I'm young, so nighttime is when I retire. No. You can be walking across the road and be bumped by a car.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
And you might not die, but you cannot work anymore. That is your nighttime.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to do, I encourage you to do it now, while it is day. That's what the Bible tells us. So that's the encouragement I'd like to leave with the ladies.
Okay, thank you, Miss Manhanga, for being in the show, and we've learned a lot. I believe next time we are going to look for you again, and I hope the door will be open again for us to learn more about this business. And then next time we're coming for leadership, because I've noticed something that you have a lot to say about leadership, so that we learn again. So
Thank you so much for having me.
thank you.